Welcome back to On Talk, the weekly talk show by Apple Language Centre, which is broadcast every Saturday at 8 p.m, so make sure that you check it out. Now, for today's episode, I believe it was Isaac Newton who postulated that what we know is a drop, and what we don't know is an ocean. And I think that rings particularly true when one is discussing the elusive mysteries of space.
Hey Johnny.
Dave, what are you doing here?
I thought we were gonna have a meeting.
But not here.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. How are we able to talk in space?
I'm glad you asked that, Dave. I mean, it's the latest technology from Apple Language Centre. They've developed a device which allows us to communicate in the vast vacuum of space. Pretty cool for an English centre, right?
Yeah, really. So what are we doing today?
Well, I was wondering if you would help me to delve into all the vast mysteries of space for the benefit of our audiences. What do you think about that?
Yeah, good for me.
Okay, let's go get them. So Dave, when discussing the cosmos, it's probably a good idea to start at the very beginning. So what can you tell us about the origins of our existence as we know it?
So there are actually many theories which describe the birth of the universe, and the most popular one, in my opinion, among them is the Big Bang theory. This theory indicates that at around 13.8 billion years ago, our universe and everything we know about it was the size of a marble, or further than that, it began from an infinitely small point, and from then it starts to expand, and until now it has been expanding for about 13.8 billion years, and it is about 93 billion light years across. So it's a huge number.
Yeah, and it's no secret that our own understanding is rather limited and infinitesimal. So is it possible that that wasn't the beginning of everything? Could, some entity or state of existence preceded the Big Bang?
So imagine you go into the North Pole and then you ask, where's the North? The question itself doesn't make any sense because, you are at the North, though nothing preceded the Big Bang, because Big Bang created time and space itself.
Okay, interesting, Dave. So, despite the sheer vastness of space, we've still uncovered virtually no existence of any other life. One theory which seeks to explain this phenomenon is called the Fermi paradox. Could you share a bit about that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. The Fermi paradox says that any civilization who are capable of sending rockets or their own species to other planets, and from that planet maybe 2 more rockets to other 2 planets, that would take around for a few million years. So we should be seeing galaxies and our universe teeming with life, but that's not what we're seeing, because despite the universe being 14 billion years old, we don't see any evidence of life whatsoever, and the theory indicates that it should be like everywhere. So that's the paradox. Maybe something happened to them, or maybe they rendered themselves extinct, and that's our concern about the paradox.
Yeah, lots of unexplained mysteries. Now, no talk on space would be complete without having first discussed the cosmic enigma known as a black hole. So, Dave, could you shed some light on what a black hole is? No pun intended.
Alright, so a black hole is basically something which a huge mass is compressed to a volume that is very, very small. Take for example, you have a room and you fill it with your laundry. You fill it to a point when no sock, you cannot even fit a sock in it anymore. But with a lot of energy, you can really fit that sock in there, and the room itself collapses into a black hole. And this black hole is really, really small. If you say you compress all the mass of the Earth along with human and everything on it, it would be the size of a coin or blueberry. And take our sun, for example, if you compress it into some kind of volume the size of Manhattan, it will collapse into a black hole. So a black hole is a celestial body that is extremely dense. Therefore, it has an enormous amount of gravity. So everything come near to it will almost certainly get sucked into it. And it has a concept called the event horizon, which indicates that once you pass this, the boundary of the black hole is the point of no return. So you basically get spaghettified inside the black hole due to the enormous amount of gravity it exerts on you.
So you talked a bit about light, being obstructed due to a black hole. Now, black holes aren't always the culprits. One particular theory which has always fascinated me is this idea of a Dyson Sphere. So could you tell me a bit about that concept?
Yeah, a Dyson Sphere is an idea of astrophysicists of a Type 2 civilization. So a Type 2 civilization means that the species are capable of exploiting all the resources of its host stars. A Type 1 civilization is a species are capable of exploiting all resources in their own host planets. So we are at around 0.7 to 0.8 type civilization. And a Dyson Sphere is something that a Type 2 civilization capable of constructing. It's a sphere around the star, which exploits all this energy and all its gravitational force, everything you can think of. Because, as a matter of fact, a star emits a huge amounts of energy, and if you are able to collect those, you can move an entire solar system or do whatever you want, basically.
Okay, Dave, we've talked a lot about what goes on in the universe, but I think to finish off, we should talk about one of the universe's greatest mysteries, and that is this idea of dark matter and dark energy. So what do you know about these things?
So, to say that I know about these things, it's not entirely accurate, because though I surf to the web, there's no answer to it. We actually don't know exactly what dark matter or dark energy is, but we can kind of calculate its effect. So, just how did we come to this concept? So back in the day, scientists were calculating the speed of the stars at the edge of the black hole, and they calculate that they're going around their galaxies at an enormous speed. So they calculate all the mass and all the stars and the planets in that galaxy. They realize that there's just simply not enough energy to keep those stars in orbit, because they are traveling at such speed they just swing out into infinity. So they thought that there must be more mass in order to enough gravity to exert on those stars. So they calculated and they figured out that there has to be 6 times more mass than what we can see in order to keep those stars in orbit. And because we can't see those matter, but we know this effect, so we just kind of call it dark matter, because it doesn't interact with light, so we can't see them. So hence it's dark. It makes sense. And dark energy, though it might sound connected to dark matter, is actually quite the opposite. So Edwin Powell Hubble, like in 1929, he observed that distant galaxies are moving away from us, and not only that, they're moving away from it at an accelerating speed. So there must be some kind of force that counteracts gravity in order that expansion to happen, because as you know, gravity pulls everything together, right? So the concept of dark energy was born because it has such effects on the universe itself. It kind of outweighs the effects of gravity, and they calculated it to be 68% of what consists of the universe, and which is a huge amount because our normal matter only consists of 5%, and the rest is dark matter and dark energy. So they're basically a huge mystery for us from beginning to end, and we have yet to find an answer for it.
Excellent. Okay, billions upon billions of years of expansion since the beginning, and the sheer vastness of the universe is almost incomprehensible to the average person. So it begs the question, what is the significance of our existence in the grand scheme of things?
Here's my thought. We have come to define significance as being special. Cultures thinking they're special, religions thinking they're special, individuals thinking they're special. When you look at the top 4 ingredients that makes up your body, in order is hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. And then you look at the universe, and what are the 4 chemically active elements out there? Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. So upon learning that you're not special because you are not made of special ingredients, is the same fact that includes the idea that while we live in the universe lives within us. So we're special because we're the same. Here you go.
Very, very philosophical answer, Dave. Now you've given our audience a lot to think about, but you're not done yet, are you? I believe you have a question to pose to them. Okay, so when you're ready, Dave, give them the question.
Right, so going back to the first image of the black hole, my question for you is, how far is that black hole away from Earth?
So if you know the correct answer, you know what to do. Put it down in the comments, and hopefully you'll win a prize. Best of luck. Dave, thank you for coming on. As always, it's been a pleasure. You've given us all a lot to think about. Fascinating talk. Until next time. So, peace out.
Peace.